Hello, fellow cross stitchers and those that stumbled upon it but don't know what cross stitch is. My name is Vicky, or aka StitchNButton. Today is June 5th, it's Wednesday, and this would be my 33rd Flosstube video. Semi-prepared. I don't have I don't know, I'm just tired. I've got some stuff to show, some stuff I'm just not going to show. I did some stitching, but not in the past 3 days, believe it or not. I did sewing, but I didn't do stitching. I was just tired and worn out, and one day I chose to watch The Upside with the family on the couch and do nothing. So, there's that. That was a good movie. It's based on a true story, which I didn't realize until I watched it, and it's got Kevin Hart and, what's his name, Bryan Cranston, the guy from Breaking Bad. Really good. Funny. A little tearjerker, a little funny. It's good stuff. Anyway, what else? I did go see Sunshine Stitchers again this past Saturday. I was not in the video. Unless you watch into the very end, I sort of pop in and wave, but I didn't sit in this time. It was still fun. We had dinner. I cross-stitched at the cupboard, and I'll show you what I got from there. I didn't go crazy, but I did get a couple of things. And I got to hang out with Deb and Gary and EJ, and Shelley was out globe-trotting again. And so I did stitching at the cupboard, did a little bit of stitching at Gary's with Ronnie while they were doing their filming, and then we had dinner. I brought down empanadas, and Gary had made a salad. It was sort of like a coleslaw salad almost, not quite, but sort of. It was good. So we enjoyed it, good times. And I looked up, I was like, oh my god, it's 9 o'clock. I gotta go. Because it takes me like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to drive home, so. I mean, not that I'll get in trouble or anything, but, you know, now that I have the day hours, around 11 o'clock I'm tired and I don't want to be on the road driving tired, so. It was fun, and I'm trying to think if anything else. When I do them bi-weekly like this, sometimes the first week gets lost. I did more stitching last week than I did this week, that's for sure. A little bit of everything, and I'll show you. Oh, and I did get I got a bag from Gary, which I'll show you in a few. I got a phone call from a friend of mine that it was, let me backtrack. I met a woman through my ex. He worked at a corner store in Philly, and he said, hey, there's this lady, and she cross stitches, and she'd love to, you know, meet you because there was not a lot of cross stitchers in South Philly. I was like, get out. Come to find out, she had the same exact address I did. I was on Reese Street, though. We had the same number house, but I was on Reese Street, she was on Orkney. And her name's Diana. And I got a phone call from her today. I haven't talked to her in forever. You know, you move away and you lose touch, and she's not on the computer a lot, so it's not like we'd send each other emails or text messages. She doesn't even know how to text. She just likes to, she wants to talk to somebody, she'll answer the phone, or she'll dial them on the phone, or she'll go visit. And I love her to death. Anyway, so I got a phone call, and I'm like, oh my goodness, a blast from the past. I don't think I've talked to her in like 5 years. So it was great to hear from her. And the reason why she called was, about 3 days ago, she stumbled across Flosstube. And lo and behold, out of the 3 shows, or the 3 hours she watched it, I don't know if it was 3 shows or just 3 hours, one of them was the Sunshine Stitchers, the first one I was in with them. And when she saw the picture, she's like, I know her. And then when they introduced me and said Vicky, she's like, I know her. So Diana, if you found me again, I'm so glad you called. We'll definitely keep in touch. It's funny how, go figure, somebody that you haven't talked to in 5 years and they find you on YouTube. Crazy. I had wanted to pull out something interesting to show you, and I just got lazy. I didn't feel like digging. I had some pictures I wanted to show. That'll be for another time. Suspense. Ooh. Okay, so let's get into it. I did some bags. I did finish the bags with the white thread, and then I did 2 more, And now I'm doing bags with the blue thread. But I have some of the bags I'll show you at the end. But otherwise I didn't do any stitching this week yet. Just Saturday. I think maybe some Sunday. But that was it. Last week I did a lot more. And I will show you. Two of the things I'm not going to show you are Space Traveler and Priestess. Both of them are the Hades. I only got like 200 stitches in on each. You really can't tell. So, erring on the side of lazy, I didn't feel like pulling them out. Debbie, honey. It's okay. I'm sure you're not heartbroken. I did, however, get a good bit done on One Nation. I know, Gary. No, I didn't pull them out because I'd lose all my crap. So, get off my back. I stitched on One Nation, and this was for a challenge on the Magical Stitches, the School of Magical Stitches. I had to do red, blue, yellow, and brown. So I pulled out One Nation, and I filled in a lot of the blue around here. I think I had to do 200 stitches. So I did 200 in blue, over 200 in red, and no, actually I did 400 in red because it was, if you had to do 200 in each of the colors, and then who you thought was going to be the Goblet of Fire winner. But I fell in love with this red, so I had to keep on going on with it. Plus I wanted to reach over here to get my yellow in. Now, if you've watched me before, you know I'm actually from Pennsylvania. I'm just living in Florida right now. So I don't remember, I can't give proper credit to who came up with this because it was years ago that I saw or heard about somebody else making their state a different color. And so I pulled out like a prim color goldish yellow and did Pennsylvania, and that gave me my 200 stitches in the yellow. The highlight of this is this red. I don't know if it's going to pull it up real good. It's okay. In person, this is Cupid. All of these are classic colorworks except for the yellow I had to pick from my Victoria motto. But the red is called Cupid. It's from Classic Colorworks. It was still Crescent color. That's the reds that I have for this. And I am absolutely in love with this color. And I only have just enough for this project. And I know I'm going to need it for other things. So I've been on the hunt and buying some here and there. So I did buy a skein from the cupboard. They only had one, or else I would have bought more. But I love that. And I'm so happy to finally be doing stripes on this. I don't know if I'm going to go back to doing the stars and finishing it up, or just sort of go across and then back, sort of typewriter it, back in the day typewriter. Not sure. And for anybody that doesn't know, this is on Creekbed Brown, which is an R&R reproduction, because I just saw something about this fabric. Matter of fact, if you want this fabric, I just saw Kitten Stitcher, and I'll write it down. KittenStitcher.com has it for sale. And I'm writing myself a note. Alright. I'll put the link in below in case you want to go get some for whatever reason. Either you want to do One Nation or you want to do something else on it. I am almost positive it takes about a half yard, by the way. Just be forewarned. And that's that. One Nation. I also worked on Animal Magnetism to get my browns in, which they asked me the actual number and the name of the color, because it does show up sort of as a green. I even questioned it myself, but my elephant's actually brown. This is the bag that I bought from Garon Toten Bags. Look how gorgeous that is. Those seals, just love them. And those ones are kissing. How cute is that? I got to pick it up in person when I went down. Save on shipping. And look at the inside fabric. Look at that. Looks like water. Gorgeous. I also ended up getting the small bag. I have my threads in snack size baggies, so the bag isn't quite closing, but it does close like the other one. It's just a smaller. Might as well throw it in. So this is Animal Magnetism. Just behind it. What I ended up stitching. Now, of course, I didn't count my green stitches, but I didn't want to leave holes. So these are light green and dark green stitches, and then I filled in all this here, and I think I even, what else did I do? Yeah, I came up and I just filled in a whole bunch in here to get my 200 stitches in. And I know that I've heard people complaining about talking about magical stitches, and I didn't want to join, but I'm going to say it again. It has me doing these projects that I've been sort of ignoring or pushing to the side, and every stitch counts. So that's, you know, 200 more stitches closer to being finished. I still love it. I still want it done, and I still want it hanging on my wall. So I'm just glad I had the challenges to help me and push me to get that done. That's Animal Magnetism. I also worked on Sweet Home Sampler, which is right here. I did try to pile everything sorted together. And I had to get in, I forget what stitches I got in. Let me look. I did. You ever look at something and go blank? I know I filled some stuff in, and it might have been just on the flowers and stuff. I know I finished filling. I'm playing fill in, and the brown around here to go for the framing of the house. I did that. This is very close to being done. Very close. I mean, look how close that is. There's some sky. It is full coverage. So there's sky and trees in there. But look how close I am. I've got all that done. It's over halfway done. I bet you it's 2/3 finished. And then there's some back stitching. But I got a lot of that done. You can actually tell that's a thatch roof. I like it. This will get done with my house on my house. I started watching Hulu, and I'm watching ER now. I have not watched that show in forever. Gina and I was living in Philly when it was on, and this is back when there was cell phones might have just been coming out, maybe. I know beepers were a thing, and we would call each other long distance every week on Thursday night or Friday, depending on if we DVR'd it or not, and just like freak out about that episode that week. So I started watching it from the beginning, and I was actually watching it. I'm on the second season already. I was watching it before, when I was gathering everything. So on my list, I have Space Traveler, Midsummer Night's Fairy. I could show you her. I was on Virtual Stitchers, and Sammy J did the live thing on YouTube. So I got in there and I stitched some. And this is towards my magical stitches too. It's for one of the monthly challenges, I think. And I didn't get in too much. What did I get in? I might have even wrote it down. I don't have it written down here, do I? Where'd you go? I have post-it notes around for like everything, for all these challenges to keep my stitch count. in check. Here it is. I ended up doing 169 out of 500 stitches so far for her. And I use my Wednesday needle minder. Let's see. All I did was cry neck, and that's probably the reason why I only got 169 stitches in. But I just did the blue in here. I only filled in a little bit up in here. And that, believe it or not, it's 169 stitches. But all that's done down there. I told you I fudged the bottom. So the only thing that needs to be done in the bottom now is beading. And then there are some leaves. I thought I was all done, but there are some leaves. I think anything that needs to be filled on this side is actually beads. But I do have a little bit more of the branch on this side and a few leaves on both sides. And I'm moving up, and I'm still debating. She doesn't have a lot of skin. I'm debating on the 1/1 versus the 2/2. I'm not sure yet. On this one, I don't know if she charted out on any of them, but on this one it's not charted out 1/1. And if you look at the picture, I am not doing 1/1 so you could see through the wing there, because that's Kreinik and her skin color. It's not happening. Now as far as this, I'll see. I'm not there yet, so we'll see. To be continued. Not sure how much of a difference it would make. Probably a lot. Let's see. Hey, I haven't worked on her in forever, and here we go. It's getting done. It's 169 stitches closer to being finished. Let's see, next. Winter Wonderland. I use this for a challenge, I know that. This is a Mill Hill kit. Here's the picture. Again, I'm not putting the bunny. And I did some more fill-in over here. I did white fill-in and some light blue and some light blue down here. I think I only got in like 200 stitches. Yeah, 200 stitches, because we had to spell out spew. So I worked on Space Traveler, the Priestess. Those are the two Hades I worked on. And then for E, for Mary Engelbright, that's what I did. I did the fill-in for that. There wasn't a specific color I had to work on. And then for W, I did Winter Wonderland. And I did find something else I could have done with the W and the E, but I said, you know what? It'll get done, right? I did order... I ordered 6-inch minis, because the mini stretcher bars are actually thinner, so hopefully that will fit better to get around the edges. That's another reason why I keep on... Once I get going, I want to go. I don't want to have to stop and start and stop and start. So I'll be getting those in soon. It's not a rush though. Eventually. And that should make this other one easier that I have kitted. I think I showed that I had this one before. It should help me a lot on this one with the cardinal, those white trees and everything, because that goes all the way out to that edge too. Cross your fingers that works. Otherwise I might have to go with the 7-inch regular stretcher bars. I'm just glad they're not real expensive. I think it's like $6 for... It's like $3 something for 2 sides, and you have to buy 2 sets. And the last one I worked on was Scary One. Because # Audrey is a scary one. And she's got more people bullying me too. Heather. Alright. Just trying to get some stitching in. She's been harassing me too. Wait, I have something to show you. So, I think the last time I showed this, I had some tree done and I had to rip stuff out. I finished that tree. I finished this tree. The cauldron. All the steam is done. And those little stars. Not bad. I don't think. We're getting there. And this will be part of one of the ultimate yearly challenge or whatever for the magical stitches. Because it's got the snake on it. So I was able to, and I think this should definitely have 1,000 stitches. If I'm not mistaken, that's definitely 1,000 stitches on there. I haven't counted how many I've done because I have it on my tablet on that Good Notes app. And I just highlight it in a different color. Oh look, a petite. Let me put that back in. Where'd you go? There. Alright, and this bag was from Gary. I don't know that he has any more of these, Gary and Ronnie. I kitted up one thing. I think I showed, yeah I did. The last time, or the time before, I showed the threads that I bought. And I bought threads for the patterns over there. Hold on, let me get it. Because I only have the working copy right now. Here we go. Happy Summer. This is from Needle Bling Designs. This is still available. I am not crazy about the beach ball. I don't like the colors of it. I don't think it really, I don't know. It's not me. So, what I did was, I started buying some of the brighter colors that I knew I didn't have. And I pulled out fabric to make it look like some sand. Like some sand down here is kind of dark, especially when it's wet. And they call for, I'm looking, 30 count cappuccino Weeks Dye Works is what they call for, which is a very browny reddish color. I opted for, I think it's just a mystery. It's a linen. I couldn't tell you who the maker is, but I knew it's 30 count. That's what I had it marked as, was 30 count. Let me fold it in half. So that's the color. And I think that looks like a sand color. Or wet sand color anyway. Now, also what I did was I couldn't find all the colors. So I'm subbing out 3 of them. 3 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4 technically, because I'm not doing the sand. I'm not stitching the sand. She actually has this as like a full covered piece, and I'm not gonna stitch that sand. I don't think it needs it. I think this color or this fabric will do just fine. And I'm not putting the beach ball. I don't know if I'll put something there at all, or if I find some charm I like or button that I have, maybe. So this says Happy Summer here. I didn't want to do it in black because I know I need a little bit of black for the sunglasses. So what I chose was Guava. And it's Guava by 6 Strand Sweets. My dead threads. So I'm going to put Happy Summer in this lettering. And then for my starfish, I'm using this Dinky Dyes, because I don't think I have a color. I'd have to have a starfish in my face in order to figure out what color. And I know she did hers brown, but I thought this would give it a little bit, because I know they go lighter and darker a little bit in spots. And then the blue that I bought that's charted is this Tutti Frutti, which would do all the water except for the swirls. And for my swirls, I didn't have the color Blue Topaz. So I chose Ocean to do the little swirls. And it's a greeny teal color. Then for the chartreuse, which is just the green on the flip-flops, the little thong, what they call on the flip-flops, I chose winter green from 6 Strand Sweets. The little bit of pink that goes on the glasses and the flowers, that's bubblegum, which I don't remember if I bought that one new. I think I did. And then Sunshine Girl, I think that looks pretty decent. I love those colors together. The Sunshine Girl is the bottom of the flip-flop, the shoe of the flip-flop. I think that'll work. And I think one of the reasons why I haven't been stitching too is I'm almost ready for a new start. This might be one of the new starts because, I mean, summer's here, so why not do it? I also, in my circus bag, should I do the song? I have 2 other summer-like. I have this one from Twin Peak Primitives, and then I have the Adjust Your Sails from Cricket Collection in there. So I was thinking of keeping my circus bag, my clown bag, in the forefront and maybe starting one of those. Remember in the beginning of the year I said I didn't want too many starts, I want some finishes. I did get a couple of finishes. I haven't done a lot of FFOs. Actually, I did 2 that weren't even planned, but it is what it is. I have one pulled out. I have to paint the frame. I did buy the paint color that I want the frame, so it's there. I just need to paint it now. So let me put this over here off to the side. That's my stitching. I had a question and I tried to answer it the best I could. Someone asked me, how do I stitch with braid or filament? And if anybody else has any suggestions, definitely put them in the comments below, or if you have any links to videos, you can put them in the comments below. And I figured I'd try to sort of explain with Kreinik and anything that's got a specialty, something, anything fluffy, anything really silky, you're going to want to use shorter lengths, especially with Kreinik, especially with braid, because it frays. After you pull it through the fabric, especially if it's a tight weave, it's going to fray and work on the thread as you pull it through, so that you get the shorter pieces, doesn't knot as much. And you have to also remember, after every couple stitches, drop what I call drop your needle, and it's pretty much keep your thread, the needle and the thread and everything, but you just let the needle go, let it unwind, and then start stitching again. I also know that, which was a good idea, they told me when I was in virtual stitchers that I needed to, you had to use 2, most times, okay, not all the time, because you know not everything's all the time and always, with blending filament. If you're just using a blending filament, you usually use 2 strands. Instead of using 2 separate strands, you take the one and you lace it through, so you have the 2 tails on the end, and you have the fold at the needle, of the eye of the needle, and then you work it through, and then you just cut to take the needle off. That way it stays more uniform and you don't have to worry about it falling out of the eye of the needle, because the hardest part of filament, I think, is threading the needle with it. Usually you can't use a petite, well, I'm sure you can, it's very difficult. So you want to look for something a little bit bigger as far as a needle and an eye of a needle. You might need to go up a size. If you're using 28, you're probably going to want to use a 26 or 24 so it makes it easier to thread. And I know that some have said, well, you could use a threader. Well, guess what? Half the time, especially on a 28, I have yet to find a threader that fits in the eye of a 28 needle that I've used. So I'm also a thread licker. So with the braid and the filament, I'll lick the end and then sort of crush it down so it's flat, so you can get all the little bits in the eye at the same time. It's an art form. Braid, I haven't used the larger braid like the number 8 braid, but I've used the smaller number 4 braid. And with that, you only use 1 strand. Most times, 9 times out of 10, you're only using 1 strand. It's kind of thick anyway. which makes it a little bit easier too if you think about it. It's just one strand, you don't have to worry about two strands laying nicely. And I don't know that I'd want to use number 4 braid on anything smaller than 32 count unless you're doing a half cross or continental stitch with it, because I think it would leave a crease, like sort of like instead of laying nicely across, it's going to sort of bend and look kind of bunchy and chewed up. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. That's how I work with it. And practice makes perfect. If you have a piece that you know you're going to need to use it on, if you take just the corner where you know you're never going to see it once you frame it or sew it or anything, practice on the corner. Practice on another scrap piece, whatever, just to see what it feels like to stitch with it. I mean, I think I only about 16, 18 inches tops for the lengths that I use, because it's just not, yeah, you have to thread more often, but you don't have the aggravation of it ripping apart and fraying, and then you having to try to pull it under some threads in the back and start over again. That's my sage advice. Some might have better advice on it. That's what I got. I have tried running it through like wax. I don't recommend it. I personally don't like it. I think it pulls too much wax up and it makes it look kind of junky and like something got in it, because it did. You got wax in it. It looks like you put wax in it. I don't remember what the results were with the Thread Heaven, or which there isn't anymore, but they do have a thread conditioner out there. I forget the name of it. But I didn't like, from what I remember, it did the same thing, just not as big chunkies as it is with the beeswax. Unless you might want to just do it on the end to help you out to thread the needle. That's the only thing I would suggest. Otherwise, I don't use any conditioners. If you feel like you've got some static cling problems with, especially like your highlighter, your blending filament, just a little damp paper towel, run it across there so it takes that static away from there. My suggestions. If anybody else has any more ideas, that'd be great. Put them below. Maybe I'll learn something too. I have just a little bit of purchases. I have more coming in, don't. I ordered from Kitten Stitcher. She had a sale today. I don't know if anybody watches this before midnight today. Thanks for jumping on it. But you might be able to order if you use, she said, thank you, all one word, as the promo code. She's given 18% for her 18-year anniversary. I went to the cupboard, like I said, and I bought some Cupid. Look at this. Classic Colorworks Cupid. I love this. It stitches up so nice. It's so pretty. I want more of it. I was only able to find the one that they had. And then I had to buy something. I was looking around for any kind of charts, and nothing was really jumping out at me because I have so many charts. And I don't know if anybody else goes through phases where you're like, I need all of one of everything, and then you're like, you know what, I have so many charts, I'm never going to get them done, I'm wasting my money. I'm in that mode, and now I'm in the, well, I'm going to need fabric for it, though, or I'm going to need threads for it, though, so that's the mode I'm in. Anyway, I went through fabric, and I know I usually do 32 count, but this was really pretty. This one is called Frozen. It's by Black Cauldron. It's 28 count. Well, we think it's 28 count. It might be 32, but we're pretty sure it's 28 count. And look at this. It's pulling up the colors pretty good. I don't know if you could sort of see the shimmers in there, especially in the purple area. Look at the modeling on that. Yeah, there you see the shimmers. Anyway, I have no idea what I'm using it for. I got the half. It's almost a half. It's 18 by 36. It's like a fat half. Or just a half, because that's not really a fat half. Why did she write 36? I know she said it was 35. Whatever. Anyway, I got the half. I'm happy with it. It's really pretty. I have no idea what I'm thinking. Maybe a Mirabilia. I've got some other Mirabilias. It'll wait until I'm done Midsummer. I don't think I want to start another one of those until I finish this one. One of those at a time is fine because I've already got 3 Hades going on. I did get a little bit of mail. Heather, LinkIsMyHomeboy, was watching her videos, catching up on some older videos, and then just catching up in general. And she had a giveaway. She'll give away charts from magazines. I said I like this heart one, and I want it. I think that's cute. I think it'll make a good pin cushion. And then it also came with a little bonus charts of these. These are by Hand Blessings Patterns. Those are cute. And then the Heart is True, that is by Nikki's Creations. So thank you, Heather. And she also sent me Color and Cotton. This one is called Antique Rose, and I do like that color. It's not showing up as shiny as it actually is. It's got a better sheen. But I like that. And then she sent a tissue. Now I sent her something, and I was nice. She sent a tissue. So now I've got more bullies. It's alright. I'll think of something. I'll just let you marinate in and get anxiety just waiting on what I think of. It'll have to be good. Can't do it shoddy. Last but not least, I haven't really watched a lot of Flosstube. I've been catching up with ones that I was watching, like Heather and of course Pam and Steph. You gotta watch those. It was 2 hours this time. And I think I'm caught up except for the very last one on Amy. Amy Loves Toads. And Kathy to Die House. She might have put one out. I gotta look because I fell behind on hers. I caught up with Slub Lover, Candice, and I caught up with Shelley Keyxstitch. But she might have put another one out since I caught up because it was like last week. I did like a whole few days of just Flosstube. I just wanted to show which bags were new. You can see them on my Instagram. StitchNButton Crafts on Instagram, or on, if you look up StitchNButton on Facebook, I am on there. And then there's StitchNButton on Instagram, but I don't have a lot of bags on there. I usually put them up on Instagram first. So this one's not even up. I'll show it to you anyway. I only have one of these, this one. I thought this was cute. Little patriotic unicorn with some gold stars. I haven't made the fob for it yet, the zipper pull. I literally finished that one today. I also have this one. It's like grayscale birds. That's what I'm calling it. That's what it looks like to me. And I did make the fob for that. I have one of those. I can make more of that though. And a little sewing machine with wings. And a sewing machine pole. Blue dots. And then I have 2 of these. Love this fabric. A Smooth Sea Never Made a Skillful Sailor. It's got the anchors and the swallows, and then the matching swallow fabric on the inside. Got 2 of those. I got. I'm done. All right. I hope everybody had a great 2 weeks. If you haven't, I hope it's looking up. And I will see you in another 2 weeks, hopefully with a lot more stitching than I've done in the past 3 days. It's just shameful. All right, everybody, just remember, just don't forget how to talk like I did. Don't let anybody steal your sunshine.